Texas or any state, you can fly for free, right? Everything is going to be paid for. Their mortgage is going to be taken care of. Everything. Why is that? What is that about?
Well, I mean, you want an answer to that, or that's just the hypothetical question?
No, an answer.
Well, I can't answer, but I would say that wasn't during a heightened time of nervousness and fear. Of course I'm going to say that. What?
You make me just worry sometimes, man.
Well, you should worry. I worry too. I mean, it wasn't right now, and everyone is talking about it. So this happens. Everyone hates the police for what they've done.
Stop. Everyone does not hate the police.
People are angry with the way the police.
The only reason why the community has get to this point is because of the things that are happening across the country.
That's true.
It's not just New York.
I understand.
It's not just
that.
LA. It's not just Missouri. It's across the country.
And
it's consistent.
And so, as a result, people come out and protest, which they definitely should do.
Mm-hmm.
And then an insane kid goes and who has been abused and suffered from abuse himself, goes and shoots two police. So this kid wanted to go out in some notorious kind of way.
The guy was mentally unstable.
He was mentally unstable.
It has nothing to do with anything else.
Nothing to do with anything else. However, the police jump on this, their man Pat Lynch, and blame the mayor for that happening. So now we've got this whole situation that's all over the media, all over the country, all over the world for that matter. Everyone knows about this.
But not everyone is listening to what Pat Lynch has to say.
No, everyone isn't listening to what Pat Lynch has to say.
Because everyone understands that. Everyone understands that if you're a person of color and you have a black male kid, you got to have that talk. Even if you're white and your husband and your wife is black.
You can be white with a husband that's black, yes.
Or if your
child is obviously brown looking, yes.
Brown looking. You have to have that discussion. What's wrong with me trying to protect my child in order to give them? It's just like going to school. You send your kids to a tutor, right? In order for them to be better. So I'm tutoring my son in how to come home safely, daily. What's wrong with that? Why is Pat Lynch unhappy with that? Why is the police officers unhappy with that? How about this?
I wonder, those cops probably made a whole lot of money overtime watching all those demonstrations.
Yeah, but how about this?
About that
how about this? How about?
And these demonstrations have stopped. That's what's so strange about it.
But how about this? How about when the situation is not a violent situation where your life is going to be in jeopardy? And you could have a general idea when you think, this is going to get out of hand. Right? And when they call you and tell you it's a fake gun and you get to the scene, right, that you don't shoot first, it's like the Wild Wild West, man. They shoot first and then they ask questions later. We can go back to those movies.
And then they don't get prosecuted and go on vacation later with their money.
Yeah. So the thing about it is that how are we going to fix this problem? That is the big question. What is the community going to do? What is the police going to do? And listen, I don't want to hear about no sensitivity training, and I don't want to hear about no cameras, okay? You know what that's like? In Columbia High School, remember they talk about diversity training? Oh, we're going to send you to diversity training for 2 days. If I have a certain mindset for 20 years of my life, I'm now 35. You're going to send me to diversity training for a week. Let's get for a week. Send me to diversity training for a week.
All right, forget that.
And expect me to come back and all of a sudden be a changed human being. Let's be real.
Well, what's interesting. I mean, I feel you can't look at I'm three tiny little lines out of this. Here it says that within the blue line of the NYPD, there's another divide between black and white officers. So Reuters interviewed 25 African-American male officers on the NYPD, 15 of whom are retired and 10 who are still serving. All but one said when off duty and out of uniform, they had been victims of racial profiling, which refers to using race and ethnicity as grounds for suspecting someone of having committed a crime. The officer said this included being pulled over for no reason, having their heads slammed against their cars, getting guns brandished in their faces, being thrown into prison vans, and experiencing stop and frisk while shopping. The majority of the officers said they had been pulled over multiple times while driving. 5 had guns pulled on them. Desmond Blaze, who retired 2 years ago as a sergeant in the 41st Precinct in the Bronx, said he once got stopped while taking a jog through Brooklyn's Upper Market Prospect Park. Upmarket. I had my ID on me, so it didn't escalate, said Blaze, who has sued the department, alleging he was racially harassed on the job. But what's suspicious about a jogger and jogging clothes? The NYPD and Patrolmen's Benevolent Association decline request for comment.
So
what can be done?
Yeah.
Do you have an answer to that, or are you just asking that?
I have an answer. Melissa
Okay.
Harris Perry made an outstanding argument on how criminal activity is a social construct that can be changed. You know Melissa Harris Perry, right?
Yes, of course, on the MSNBC.
Yeah. Let's
host
listen
of her own show there.
to what she has to say. Melissa Harris
I think
Perry.
she's also a professor at Princeton.
She's what?
I think she's also a professor at Princeton.
She's a professor at Princeton?
I think so. Let me double check. Uh-huh.
So is she that good? She's pretty. You see that? She's pretty. That's not exactly what I meant.
Yes, it is. Obviously.
My colleagues and friends who are in the Chicano movements in the Southwest often say, look, we didn't cross the border crossed us, right? We were here and then America came, so don't call us immigrants. Well, a similar thing happened with crime, right? It's not so much that we became more criminal, it's that more things became criminal. One way to think about it is that during Jim Crow, right, simply being black in public space was criminal activity. Right, so going to a movie theater and sitting in the downstairs instead of upstairs was a crime, right? Drinking out of the wrong water fountain was a crime. Sitting in the front of the bus was a crime. Now, we look at those things now and think, well, that's ridiculous, right? But these are clearly just patterns of people's lives and behavior. These are things that we think of as freedom of choice and the right to assemble. And so how could we have thought of them as criminal? So the line of what constitutes crime is socially constructed. It can move back and forward, right? My parents' relationship was a criminal relationship in the state of Virginia where I grew up 3 years before we came there. So, 3 years before we moved to Virginia, my parents' relationship was in fact a criminal relationship. So what I know for certain is that we can change what constitutes crime. And that in doing so, we don't make a world that is more dangerous. I think we actually make a world that is more free. So we can say that we are as unconcerned with inner city high school kids smoking pot at the bus stop as we are about Princeton kids getting drunk to the point of killing brain cells every Thursday night. We can just simply say, you know what, these are not activities that make us afraid. We are not afraid of young people. We're not afraid of the choices that they're making, that we don't have to police every single activity to the point of incarceration, that we can't have laws on the book that stamp sort of our social code about what matters, but that we do not have to police them at this same level. We don't, in fact, have to kind of fill our jails with people who are doing petty drug crime, right? Petty drug crime does not require the kinds of massive incarceration that it's currently getting. We can talk about property crime, we could talk about sort of, physical crimes of rape, but those things, by the way, have all been in decline as we have grown our prison population in terms of petty drug crime. There is no war on drugs. There's a war on sort of petty drug users, and I think we could make a choice not to be in that war.
So there you have it, Melissa Harris Perry. Now, our friend Ocean Eversley in Massachusetts. You want to send a SOMO out to Ocean Eversley in Massachusetts?
Hi.
Hi, who?
So more shout out.
No, as a SOMO out. We don't send shout outs.
So more out?
Yeah, we drop the shout. We send a SOMO out.
So more out.
We original here. We don't imitate. We originate.
So more out.
There you go. Here's what she said. She said, make them... Oh, no, not that one.
Okay.
I have an answer. Let police officers live with an African-American family for a month.
Oh, my goodness. It's a Peace Corps system.
Before they have a right to work as a police officer. That's a great suggestion. That's an excellent suggestion. What do you think? Listen, you don't know what a man is going through until you walk a mile in his shoes. Or, she also said, make them stain their skin for a month and live as an African American with an Afro weave and see what it might be like. There you go again. You don't know what it's like until you walk in a mile in a man's shoes. Hello?
What other suggestions? We need some more suggestions. Sorry, babe.
She also said, hi, Marjorie.
Hi.
You see, so we interact with people on Facebook as well.
Okay.
You know?
I mean.
So what do you think about those two suggestions? I think they're great suggestions, to be honest with you.
So I'm going to take a cop
Instead of sending them to
2
diversity
weeks,
training.
and he or she will live with me, and
Yeah, so you can see what it's like.
it's not like anything.
What do you mean?
I mean, living with me, I don't think it's going to be much different than living with,
Living with your own family, it'd be different
Becky
for
down
him.
the road,
For him, it'd be different.
because they will see that people are just people.
He would see that the unequal treatment that you get. He would see it firsthand.
No, he won't see that.
Yes, he would.
You know what? Listen, no. You know what? Oh my God! I just got this.
Diversity training is not going to do it.
So your friends, you have friends that are white, of course you do.
Yes.
Many, probably.
Yeah.
Do they understand what you're saying when you try to explain these issues to them?
We rarely discuss these issues.
What kind of mess is that, Anselm? Why do you rarely discuss these issues?
Because we don't discuss
Well,
it.
you're not helping the situation by not
How am I not
having
helping?
these
If I'm in a
discussions.
situation where we have to discuss this situation,
You
we
should
discuss it.
discuss it. Just if you come home, if I come home and I'm angry about some racist
You
stuff
call
that
them up?
happened, I will talk to somebody. Or and if a friend of mine who's white does something or says something that I don't get, I will call them out on it immediately.
No.
But wait a
if
minute.
they say
But that is
something-
wait. But in any general situation.
Yeah.
So if I'm dealing with something that happened at work or some mistreatment,
You call one of your friends?
I will talk to one of them and tell them, yeah. Because why should they not know what I have to deal with? And listen, this is the problem. When people say, don't shake your head, this is a problem.
You got to deal with the person.
Wait a minute, no.
You got to deal with the person who that deals with. And deal with another person.
No, because if they could go screw somebody else up at some other time.
How does it change anything? You have a problem.
Because we should be able to talk about whatever the issue is with everybody.
You have a problem on your job with someone, and then you go discuss it with someone else? That makes no sense.
Oh, I will discuss it with the person at the job as
okay.
well.
You got to discuss it with anybody.
I will just keep discussing it until I get it out of my system.
Anybody you got to discuss it with is the initial person. I ain't going to discuss it with no one else. If I go discuss it with another white person, what's that going to do? That's not going to do anything.
And then you know what that white person will say? Oh, come on now, you're just imagining things. It's not that way. So it doesn't. What my point is that you can sometimes tell people, and they could be walking with you, it could be your pally pal, but they still won't really understand. Just like this whole discussion I had with this friend of mine when somebody says, "Oh, you're very articulate," and I'm like, "Black people don't want to hear that." And somebody says, "Well, you are," but I'm like, "No, you don't. Don't you understand why I don't want to hear that?" I mean, of course. How do you expect me to sound? It just could not. And this is a very good friend of mine. She couldn't get it. They just don't get stuff.
That's not her experience. So she thinks that by telling you that, it's a compliment. She thinks by telling you,